Hello, in today's news, the sea of red continued in New Zealand's share market today. All stocks except restaurant brands and Scale-up holdings were hit by nervous investors reacting to the US credit downgrade. ASB chief economist Nick Tuffley told New Zealand's REMA that the G7 central banker's statement to cooperate for market stability didn't have much of an impact on spooked investors. And as the latest international economic firestorm begins to bite, the government's being told it needs to do more to protect Kiwi interests. Labour leader Phil Goff says while international events are beyond the government's control, there remain things it can do domestically. He says that the government has its head in the sand if it believes that selling off assets and borrowing from overseas to allow tax cuts for the well-off is going to be a successful strategy. Overseas, police have condemned a wave of copycat criminal activity across London in a second night of looting and disorder following riots in the northern suburb of Tottenham. A peaceful protest over the fatal shooting by police last Thursday of 29-year-old Mark Duggan descended into violence at the weekend. The Metropolitan Police say officers have been attacked, a number of police vehicles damaged, and thousands have looted a major retailer, while gangs of youths have pelted police with missiles. The police have warned about ill-informed speculation on social networking sites, fueling further problems, and they've launched an investigation into London's worst rioting in years. Blenheim Police are assisting an occupational safety and health investigation into the death of an engineer at Woodbourne Airfield. Police were called to the Safe Air aircraft engine testing facility shortly after 8 a.m, following reports that a man had been sucked into a jet engine. Tasman Police Acting District Commander Steve Caldwell says emergency services performed CPR on the local man, but their attempts to revive him were unsuccessful. World War II heroine Nancy Wake, who won multiple decorations for her work with the French resistance, has died at her London home aged 98. The government's already paying tribute to the New Zealand-born war hero, and now the Labour Party is doing the same. Leader Phil Goff says her story is one of remarkable bravery, courage and leadership. And flags are flying at half-mast at RSAs around the country to mark her passing. The New Zealander was the Allies' most decorated World War II servicewoman for her work with the resistance. Returned Services Association Chief Executive Dr. Stephen Clark says Nancy Wake saved thousands of Allies, including New Zealand airmen. And Phil Goff is scoffing at suggestions by Honi Harawira that his Mana Party is taking votes from Labour. Mr Goff says Mr Harawira seems to have forgotten what happened to his vote in the Taitokoro by-election. He says Mr Harawira saw his majority slashed by 5,000 votes, and those votes went straight to Labour's Kelvin Davis. Labour claims the government is going to flip-flop over an inquiry into the price of milk. Opposition parties have been calling for a select committee investigation, but the government until last week was saying no. Today the Prime Minister changed his mind, saying the issue would be discussed at Cabinet. Phil Goff says it's election year politicking and the government's realised the depth of public feeling and anger at the rising costs of living. And that's the news for today. Thanks for joining us.